So, you're in your stats menu. You're in your stat menu. You're over in tests, just like you were before. But now you're not going for one prop z int. I mean, hell, you could if you were testing, 23 out of 30. But we're testing average weight, yes? So look for something called, what do you think? It won't say average, unfortunately. It'll say t interval. Yeah, it'll say t interval. And it's right there. It's right below something called z interval. Now, you'll never use z interval. I think I told you before, you're never ever going to use anything with a z on it unless it also has what word with it? Do you remember? It has to have the word prop with it. Yes, prop. And here's why. If you inadvertently go into that z interval command, you'll see right off the bat that it's full of crap. Because what's the first thing it asks you for? Or the second thing it asks you for? It's the population standard deviation. Can't. You don't know what it is. You're never going to know what it is. So if you inadvertently wander into one of these menus, you'll know you're in the wrong place. Just go back and find the right one. Stat tests, t interval, there it is. Now this looks a little bit different than the one prop z in. And part of the problem is you have to have measurements in order to do this. You have to have measurements in order to actually do this. So the first thing you have to decide is, do you have data or do you have raw statistics? I don't know what you guys are sitting on, if you're sitting on stats or data. If you're sitting on stats, you had to have pulled the sample size, the standard deviation, and the x-bar from a study. Now, chances are, if you guys go over to stats, you'll probably see these exact numbers popped in there because we already ran them. But if you didn't, which most of the time in this class, I'm going to give you raw data or grouped frequency distribution data, we're going to have data itself. Now, on this data list, what you want to do is you want to actually go in and tell it where your data is. I put mine in L1. Did you guys put yours in L1 as well? Okay, I'm going to change mine to L1 then. Why this confidence level isn't 66666 is beyond me. I don't know why that is. Your frequency is going to be 1 when you have raw data. Just like it was in 243. Just count everything 1 time. So leave that. Does everybody say 1?
Yeah.
Okay, good. As far as confidence level, put in 95%. 0.95 or 95, it doesn't matter. It'll read either one. And then just hit calculate. It takes a little bit longer for it on the t interval than the z interval because the t, you saw that curve. That curve is a little bit of a monster. Check out those numbers. Check out those numbers. 0.517. Looks familiar, huh?
Yeah.
It's even better than ours because that table that we were pulling the 2.045 off of was truncated to 3 decimals. Those decimals actually go on to 100 or actually infinite many places. It's in the irrational number. Just like the z tables. 1.96 is not really 1.96. It goes on much further than that. But there's your sample standard deviation in case you need it. There's your sample average in case you need it. And your sample size in case. So you get one of our stats for free. But the most important thing is that you get this. That's the most important thing, is you actually get the interval you're looking for. Which means you're allowed, if you have to explain this, I always like to think of explaining this to your next door neighbor who never had a stat class. And they ask you a question like, what do they mean when they say half-pound beef and cheese burrito? Or insert context here. You could say, well, here's weights in pounds. Here's weights in pounds. Here's a half a pound. Right in the middle of it. That's 0.5 pounds, not 50%, right? 0.5 pounds, 1/2 pound. If you had to draw the confidence interval for a half-pound Del Taco beef and cheese burrito, where would the interval be? Well said, Lauren. I didn't put a scale on here, and that's intentional. But this would be the Del Taco half-pound beef and cheese burrito average weight.
Okay.
The important thing...
Can you say that 5 times fast?
No. Actually, I just can't. The important thing is that you're 95% confident that it's above a half a pound. Now, this is echoed in their Google search when they said it was 241 grams, as Jackson said, 0.53 pounds, right? Which, I mean, it echoes our sample very, very closely, which means that Stacy, your employees are right on there, right on there. But the idea is you now have an indication as to what the half pound means. It doesn't mean every one is half a pound. It means on average, they're over half a pound. That's pretty slick. That's pretty slick. Does that make sense? Do you guys buy that? You see what you're getting at here? You're getting at a population average, not an individual data point. That's why when your friend tries to count it, goes, well, that's crap. I got one that was a quarter pound. First of all, ask them how they measured it. Secondly, ask them to go replicate their study a few hundred more times and then come back with all the data and see if it holds up. Regression to the mean. It's all about regression to the mean. Outliers are generally undone by regression to the mean. Please, go ahead.
Your next study, Subway sandwiches. I heard that they're not a football.
Yes, they are.
Damn good. Yes, they are. No, they're not. I love this. Study the making. Maybe we'll make this the final assessment for 244. Subway.
Everybody go
I'll start writing grants right now. Try to get some funding to actually buy these things. Okay, so the idea. We've now taken a great deal of time to get some data. Or to actually, not to get some, I gave you the data. We took a great deal of time to crunch that down to an interval. We'll never have to take that much time again because everything is built into these machines and or online resources. What I want to do now, we have 20 minutes left. I want to collect some more data. I want to collect some more. Brandon, if you don't mind throwing the lights on, that'd be fantastic. I'm going to pair you guys up.